The infinite consciousness is I. It is the three worlds. It is the Purusha, the cosmic being. And it is you. The infinite consciousness isn't a particular variety of consciousness. It's simply consciousness. And here the word used is cidakasha, which means the space of consciousness. Because consciousness is what allows everything to happen. If there was no consciousness, there would be nothing. We can imagine nothing, but again, that's also in consciousness. And the word Akasha, which is in cidakasha, means also the radiance of consciousness. It's radiant. And as you progress it in your enlightenment practice, it moves from being a very subtle, intangible thing to something which has a radiance. Minus this cidakasha, the body is a corpse. Well, there's no such condition as being minus the cidakasha. You can only be minus the realization of the nature of consciousness. And if you're without that realization, if you're minus that realization, then you might as well be a walking corpse, because you're missing the point completely. You're missing your reality. This infinite consciousness cannot be cut nor burnt, and hence it never ceases. Let me ask you something. I'm going to ask you about a particular feeling you've got. And I want you to observe something when I ask you about this feeling. I want you to observe how you avoid it completely and how you try to find some excuse for denying it. Are you ready? So I'm going to ask you about a particular feeling that you've got. A particular feeling that you've got right now. It's a feeling that we've all got. And it's a feeling that we're constantly denying. And we've got very good reasons for denying it. Although we shouldn't really go along with these reasons. So what is this feeling? What is this feeling that you've got right now that I might be referring to? The feeling is that you're immortal, that you're never going to die. Be honest now. Haven't you got that feeling somewhere deep down? And you'll be coming up with all sorts of arguments to deny that feeling, won't you? But basically, deep down, we all feel this, don't we? We all feel, I'm not going to die. But then we think immediately, but everybody dies. Everybody dies. So I can't listen to this feeling. It's clearly an erroneous feeling. It's a feeling which arises from some kind of denial, doesn't it? Denial of the reality of the situation. Well, maybe we've got it the wrong way round. Maybe this feeling is correct. So, Guru Gillis, how can this feeling be correct? Well, let's be quite clear. This feeling has got nothing to do with you as a personality. It's got nothing to do with me as a personality. It's got nothing to do with you or anybody else as a personality. This feeling is the same in everybody. This is the feeling of awareness, which we're constantly trying to smother and cover up and not pay too much attention to, because we can't possibly go around saying that we're immortal. And if it's not me as a personality that's immortal, then what is it? What is it? Well, it's the consciousness within which we arise. It's our very awareness. This infinite consciousness cannot be cut nor burnt, and hence it never ceases. Therefore no one ever dies, nor is anyone born. Consciousness is the person. If it is said that that person dies and therefore consciousness dies, which is what we normally say, doesn't it? It is like saying that when a son dies, his father dies too. So it's consciousness which gives birth to notions of our individual self. And just because these notions die does not mean that consciousness dies. It clearly doesn't, because it's alive in you, it's alive in everybody else, it's alive in everything. Again, we might make hypotheses. We might hypothesize that consciousness dies, but that's just consciousness hypothesizing. A hypothesis arises in consciousness. We might think, well, I know that I fall asleep at night and my consciousness seems to disappear. I'm unconscious at that point. But who's saying this? You're not even talking about a memory. Do you remember being unconscious? You're making an inference, an induction once again. You've seen people sleeping. You've seen people apparently inert, apparently dead. And so you're assuming this must be what happens to you. What I'm doing here is uncovering this feeling, this knowledge that we have deep down of the indestructible nature of consciousness. If consciousness dies, then everything dies and the world becomes empty. O Ram, this consciousness is not dead till now, anywhere in anyone. Because it's all consciousness. It's like saying part of a dream is not part of the dream. Part of the dream is dead. The dream is still the dream is still the dream. There can't be any part of a dream that is not a dream. Even dead people in a dream are part of the dream. Space in the dream is part of the dream. There's no part of the dream which is not part of the dream. O Ram, this consciousness is not dead till now, anywhere in anyone, nor has this creation stood as a void. And here this means void in the usual sense as nothing. There's never been nothing. There is always something. We do not have to explain how something comes out of nothing. We should have to explain why we think there's nothing. How can there be nothing? There's always something. Hence it is clear that the innermost being of everyone, which is pure consciousness, is unchanging. When this is realized, where is birth and death? So, get in touch with that feeling. Don't celebrate it though, because it's got nothing to do with you. Just realize it in quiet appreciation.